My name is Amber, and welcome to the Meet RX Success Story podcast. Today we have Danni with us, and she's going to be talking about how the carnivore diet has made a difference in her life. Hi, Danni.
Hi, Amber.
I hope everything is going well, and I'm very excited to talk to you. So I would like to know, what was your health like? What was going on with you prior to starting Carnivore? Can you kind of break that down for us so we can get an idea of where you're coming from?
Okay, well, some of the things that I've noticed, and I'm just going to go back like a decade because I have a 10-year-old, and that was the first time I noticed that anything might be a little off. I was pregnant at 39, and I noticed I was more tired than I was with my other pregnancies, but duh, you're older, right? So I just attributed that. Well, as pregnancy went on, I, went in for checkups, and I was almost in that diabetic stage, or they call it prenatal or natal. Can't remember what it's called, but when you're getting diabetes during pregnancy. So I was really concerned with that. And they sent me to the dietitian, and she's like, yeah, well, you can eat carbs, in moderation. And so they sent me home with the blood glucose testing kit. And so I did that. And I just noticed from habit, like I could eat meat and cheese, and I could eat like that and be fine. If I'd eat carbs, I felt lethargic, and my blood sugar would go up both. So I just that was always in the back of my mind. Of course, after the pregnancy, everything was fine. I never really checked high for blood sugar again, but I always, in the back of my mind, would think I feel better without a lot of carbs. So I've always kind of ate that way. But through the past decade, then I was in, I was about 43, and I had one night got flu-like symptoms. My neck was really sore, and spent a few days on the couch with the flu, and it didn't seem like any big deal. But then as the days and weeks passed, I experienced something that was really like West Nile virus. I had some rashes on my neck, and it was pretty scary. I was really, really fatigued all the time. My ears rang like somebody had just rung a bell, and just like your head was just nonstop ringing. And the more fatigued I'd get, the worse that symptom would get. And our doctor just kind of said, this acts so much like West Nile. You're not checking positive to it, but let's treat it like that. And treating it like that from the medical doctor is nothing. Go home and rest. So I did the best I could. We ranch on this for a living, and so I'm outside a lot. And it took. He said, if it's like West Nile, you'll be better. Your symptoms will be gone in a year. And after a year, they pretty much were gone. It was just the tinnitus. I'm not sure how to say that, but that ear ringing was the only symptom that really lagged on, and fatiguing easily. And any cold or flu that went around, I got it. I was the worst. And sometimes there wouldn't be anybody else in the family that would catch the flu, but I did. And I'd be down and out for a few days, run a fever, have the, chills, cold, flu-like symptoms, go through that and come back. But always just a little run down and a little fatigued. So anyway, going on, I've always kind of tried to stay healthy and tried to eat healthy, I guess. So that was me before the carnivore diet.
Thank you for that. Sounds like you've kind of been through quite a lot. Wow. Okay, so when you started the carnivore diet, how did you implement it? Like, what were your meals like? How many times a day did you eat, those kind of things? And did you have any issues?
Well, I would go back. Let's see. It was probably about July of 2017. So that would have been like 3 years ago. So I started following Dr. Sean Baker on Twitter, and I thought, this is really cool. Why didn't I think of this before? Because we grew up on a ranch, and I've always known meat was healthy. And I'm like, why would it take an orthopedic surgeon to figure out, to try to drop all that other stuff out of my diet and just see how I feel, right? Because from reading, it looked like other people were having success. So I thought, well, I'll try this. So about July to August to September 15th was the day I decided, all right, I'm done with everything else. I'm just going to go all meat and just see what happens. And I was just so amazed. I mean, okay, so at that point I was like 47 years old, and I put on probably 20 pounds, especially since that West Nile thing had gone on. It's like I'd lost like 20, 30 pounds during that time. And what I put back on was like fat. It wasn't, I was at the fattest point in my life, and I, is like, I wasn't muscular anymore. I was just kind of had extra in places that weren't normal for me. And then at that age too, you can say, well, she's premenopausal. That's just natural. And I didn't think it was natural the way I was. I like to work out. I like to be healthy. And that working out was really hard to do when you were as fatigued as I was all the time. So after I started on Carnivore, I had like body composition just improved like within months. I would think by December, I was probably getting really close to my normal weight. And I was just amazed. And then of course your energy comes back because you feel better and you want to work out. I would say probably that my allergy symptoms kind of improved. I didn't talk about that too much, but with that tinnitus and stuff left over, I also like took allergy pills every day and would get a sinus infection a couple times a year. And that just kind of went away too. And then just all burping and gas, bloating it was just gone. It just like your stomach just feels so much smoother and better and happy stomach, probably happier immune system. It just seemed like everything really fit together. And then that ear ringing with the fatigue gradually just went away. I'd get to springtime, here's busy, we're calving, we're outside 18 hours a day and really busy. And even during that time, I guess, that's my ultimate test. If I get through spring without getting sick, that's pretty good, because it just has to go. And I didn't get run down. And if I've had the flu or something like that, it doesn't run me down for 2 or 3 days at a time, and I don't get a fever and really run down from it anymore. And that's an incredible improvement.
That's awesome. I'm so glad to hear that you've had a lot of improvements. That is really great. Can you tell me a little bit of how you did the diet? Like what you ate? Did you have any issues when you transitioned into it or anything like that?
Sure. So like I said, in July, I really made a conscious effort to start gradually removing things. And then September 15th, I can't remember, Doc Baker was doing some kind of a challenge, and I thought, well, I'm going for it. And so I pretty much went with ground beef. Our freezer is always full of a beef because we ranch, and I'm really, really, really spoiled that way because it's really good fresh beef. And so my favorites probably are ground beef and steak. I'll make up our roast overnight, real slow, and eat on that all day. I basically followed the rule: eat when I'm hungry, eat till I'm satisfied, and eat again when I'm hungry again. I love bacon and eggs. The rest of the family is of course meat. They eat a lot of meat, but they're not thrilled that I don't eat other things. They think that's kind of weird, and that's okay. I said, that's okay. I feel better eating this way, and that it's okay if you guys don't, So that was the biggest transition for me. I just don't remember a lot of negative symptoms that I had. I didn't have that keto flu that people talk about, and I don't remember. I did have a lot of dry mouth. I do remember that. And that took a long time to go away, like 3 or 4 months. It seemed like I could just drink water, and it really never quenched my thirst. So for whatever reason, that was probably my biggest symptom.
Well, that doesn't sound too bad at all. It sounds like you've had pretty much a positive experience. That is really wonderful. And thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to tell us about your success story. I really appreciate it. And it was great speaking with you, Danni. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Amber.
Coming.